Hey everyone, Void Ranger here, coming at you with the Vargoyle action figure from Power Rangers Beast Morphers Season 2. I was extremely lucky to find this figure in stores. Actually, I didn't find it in stores, I found it on Target's website, which it sold out almost instantly. And it's apparently very, very rare right now, so if you do see it on their app or in the store, pick it up because it is hard to find. We're going to start this a little differently than I do most reviews because, you know, I don't really care for lights and sounds all that much. But he does come with his Morph X key, which has the nice little Vargoyle paint and design on it. And it does make some lights and sounds, so that's kind of neat, I guess, for those of you who care about that for the Morpher and stuff. It's hard to get it to focus on this little thing. But that said, I'll play it on here. I swear when I tested this out, when I actually got the figure in from the mail, it played two different sounds, but while I was just playing with it a few minutes ago, I could only get it to do one, so I don't know if it read the pegs wrong or something and played somebody else's sounds. I don't know, but I could only get it to say one thing today. So maybe it depends on its mood. But I will probably not ever review this, but here's the Beast X King Morpher. It's just the one I had laying around within reach when I decided to pull this out. And so here you can see this, but don't expect anything in depth. But we'll turn that on, and this thing's loud, so just FYI, if you get it for a kid, it might drive you crazy. So,
virus upload complete. Hands off my fury cells.
yes, sir. So, that's it. That's all I could get it to say today, and I don't really want to spend 30 minutes trying to make it say something different. It might. I don't think it does. I think I just found a glitch in the matrix or something. So on to the main point of the review. You've got Vargoyle here, and my thing with Hasbro's basic line is, well, they're basic. They're $10 figures, and they get the job done. I think their paint apps are better than what we had gotten towards the end, especially with Bandai. But also, I think well, they go back to that 6-inch scale, which is important to me. That's kind of the smallest I like the action figures to be. And so you've got a decent amount of paint, sculpt, and height on these things. And I think Bandai knocks it out of the park with the 6-inch villains. They look really good. His paint is pretty decent. I'm sure there's stuff you could find if you like compared him to his suit show and all that kind of stuff. That's missing, but just standing there, he looks pretty cool. So actually, I'm going to take his weapons out and get them there because they're bound to fall at some point. But I wanted to show those off if I can get the camera to focus on them. But for little plastic, you know, things, they could have gone the no paint app route with them, but they at least put the silver in it. And I don't know how well you can see it, but they have moldings in them. They have designs like sketched in there, like they're actually there, but because they're black, and even though this booth is pretty well lit, it's lit, y'all. You can see them in real life. So hopefully, me flipping it around like this is helping. Maybe if I move Vargoyle out of the way, it'll find something better to focus on. But yeah, there we go. I do like that they sculpted these out and actually like put paint on them. So that's his sword. And then he's got his gun, which again is also pretty well molded. There's just silver here on the front there, which you can see. But I like that there's details in them and that they aren't just one solid color like some weapons we get. So that's that on those. As for the figure himself, he doesn't have a lot of leg articulation. He can do basic kicks and move his knees, which, you know, I get because his molding's kind of, jeez, it does not like focusing on this thing today. His molding would kind of prevent any kind of like 360-degree rotation or anything. And his feet, at least what I could figure out. They don't move, they don't seem to be on a joint, and I don't want to mess with them. Though I have found that some of Hasbro's figures have really tight out of the box joints, so but you can rotate his legs, his lower legs a bit, so you can get some posability there if you're not using, you know, just the knees to get to that whatever stand or pose you want. But he's got good molding. I do appreciate that they're not like skin tight suits, and that there's like, even though I guess he's a robot and probably wouldn't be wearing clothes, I kind of like that the suit like fabric is molded in, kind of like on the Ranger figures too. But this sculpt on his chest just looks really good. And there's a little bit of detail, but way more than I would really expect on his little emblem here. And then there's still silver and red paint. And the paint here is very well, like, it almost looks like a barcode, instead of just where I feel like they could have just gone a solid red line and called it a day. So he's got his spikes on him too, and that just adds to the quality. I think it just looks, this doesn't seem like it would be a $9 figure. I just feel like they kind of just do such a good job with these figures, and I like that these are flexible. So in some ways it does feel like they shrunk down a version of the PVC like toy or actor suit. So he's got his arms, they're painted 2 tones there, silver and black. And he's got some arm flexibility, good joints. The one thing about Bandai or Hasbro figures is sometimes I'm afraid I might break them. I don't know if that's just a me thing and they will actually break or not. But I don't want to mess with them too much. And when you put the weapons in, every time I've done this on any of their figures, I've noticed their hands are very tight, which is good because they won't, I guess, lose their grip on the weapons, but I do feel like if I pull it too hard, I might break it. But the one thing that really surprised me on this figure in general is just the level of detail in his shoulders, which the shoulder pads move up here, and then the spikes again. But his head, like, I saw a picture of him because I didn't notice it at first, but like I noticed his eyes, or whatever you want to call his face, has some more colors than just this on there, but it looks pretty good. And the detail on the I don't know what you would call this, the rotors, these pieces here, looks really cool. But I almost didn't expect to see his, for lack of a better term, his hair. It's very simple. It's like very cheap artillery plastic. There's clearly it's molded to be like bullets. At least it looks like bullets to me. I don't actually remember seeing it very much in the show. But it's here. I feel like they could have just made it like a paint app on the back where they were like, oh, this is it. But they actually give you a piece, and it really adds to the figure. So the presentation of this is good. And then the back molding, if you can see, is just very well sculpted. I really like this figure, and for $10, I mean, you could do a lot worse. I know some of the late Ninja Steel figures were just, I felt like they were just one color and very simple molding. So, you know, not to throw anybody under the bus or anything like that, but I think this figure is absolutely worth the $10, and I have a feeling it's going to be rare, just going forward. So if you see him, pick him up, and probably rejoice, because I don't feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of him in the future. I don't know what the box listings are for how many are packed in each one, but I have a feeling he's the short pack figure. Now, somebody might correct me if I'm wrong and whatever, but I don't see them overpacking him or anything like that, because he is a very special case. They can't really reuse this mold at all. So, but that's it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check me out on Instagram and Twitter. The links are below. And I appreciate you guys watching. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.